Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And I am outside today getting ready to plant my ginger. Now you all, in the most recent video that I did on the ginger, and then I'll have to be careful. I got my little seedlings coming up here, my little beet seeds. But anyway, you all, in the most recent video that I did, on ginger, on how I prepare my ginger for planting, I showed you all how I take the fingers off inside of the elbow and separate my ginger when I have really large pieces, and separate them so that I can maximize on how much ginger I can grow in my garden bed. Now this garden bed is a 4x8. I think I'm going to be able to plant out this entire bed with this ginger. Okay, let me show you this. So this is the ginger. Many of you asked how long did it take, or how long will it take for the ginger to heal once you break it at the finger, right? I like to say in that little elbow is where I like to pull it off at, snap it apart. And I'll post that, I'll link that video at the end of this video as well. But how long does it take it to heal? About 2 days, okay? But I give mine about 3 days to heal before I plant it. And I've actually had this for about 4 days, just kind of sitting out, making sure that the moisture was completely gone from the ends where it had been broken, okay? Making sure that moisture was completely gone. Now, what I have done here is I have dug out these little mini trenches, if you will. And I've already fertilized this bed with some feather meal and some bone meal. Now, quite a few of you asked the question, what is feather meal? And feather meal, in short, are poultry feathers ground into a powder and marketed to sell as fertilizer, okay? And it does make an excellent organic fertilizer, okay? And what is bone meal? Well, bone meal is just that. It's the bones of chickens or ducks, turkeys, whatever, ground up into, of course they're dried and then ground into a powder and then marketed as fertilizer. And of course it does make a really, really good fertilizer, okay? All right, you all, so I have already added some feather meal and some bone meal to this bed. And what you see here are just worm castings that I have laid inside of each one of these trenches. And there you can see the soil is kind of mounded up on the edges there, because that's what I'm going to use to cover my ginger. Now ginger is not complicated, very easy to plant and very easy to grow. I don't think I fertilized my ginger the last time I grew it. I don't think I fertilized it except for when I put it in the beds, and I think that was it. I didn't fertilize it anymore after that, and it grew just fine. Now the hopes for this ginger here, you can see what I have, and let me show you. This is what it looks like once you break one of the fingers off and it heals over. That's what it looks like. It's very, very dry, okay? So now the hope for this ginger, you all, is to be able to plant enough ginger in this bed that come harvest time, I'll have not only enough to eat, but enough to grow the next planting season. Because you all, once I harvest this, I want to make sure that I have a lot, right? I want to be able to enjoy it without having to purchase ginger from year to year, okay? So all I'm going to do, you all, literally is just take my little ginger pieces. Now these spaces are about 1 foot apart, and I'm going to plant my ginger 1 foot apart inside, so I can get one on each end and one in the middle, and that's going to be approximately 1 foot, okay? Approximately. If it's 10 inches, no big deal, okay? So now the other thing is that if I have really small pieces, like for example, if I have really, really small pieces like this, what I'm gonna do if I can balance that. Okay, so if I have small pieces like these, what I'm gonna do is just put two together, okay? And these will serve as one. I didn't break these fingers like this, they came like this, okay? So I'm gonna put two pieces where that one, I would otherwise just put one piece this size. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these planted. I'm gonna go on the other side, so hopefully you can see me better, okay? All right. Okay, so now, so I can tell that you probably can't see the last two rows on that side, which is fine. I'm just gonna take my, move this garden hoe out the way. And I have to put this wire over the bed to keep the cats out. But I'm just gonna take my ginger and drop it into place. Put two smaller pieces here. In fact, I think I'll put all of Mrs. Puff, here you come. I think I'm gonna put all of my smaller pieces on this side, just in case the larger pieces grow faster, they won't shade out my slow growing small pieces, okay? Then I'll put that one back there. No ma'am, Mrs. Puff. And it's literally just that simple. I think I'll put another piece with that one. Come on, Mrs. Puff, let me back. Okay, so I think I'm out of frame now, but I'm coming right back. Coming right back. Get the rest of these in place. Did I put one here? I did. And so I got about 3 pieces in each one of these trenches, and I still have several pieces left. So, okay, so what I think I'll do is just take the smaller pieces out and just keep the bigger pieces in, and maybe put the smaller pieces inside of a okay, Mrs. Puff, put the smaller pieces inside of a container. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Put the smaller pieces in a container. All right. And then I'm gonna get these all covered up like so. So literally, you all you're gonna need is 1 inch of soil over this. Nothing more than that, okay? In fact, you could just push that little dirt over it. Barely covering it up. I'm gonna have to come over there to do the others. Hold on, Mrs. Puff. Little girl. Okay, you all, so I'm gonna come back over there and cover the rest of it. You just gonna follow me everywhere. You gonna follow me everywhere. She like, I saw you over here, thought you needed some help. Okay, I'm gonna take these other two little pieces out. And I'm gonna put a larger piece in its place. Maybe two. And I'm gonna sit that down, and literally, you all, I'm just gonna push a little bit of soil over the top, not a lot. I know so many of you have asked about Mrs. Puff. I can't tell y'all why Mrs. Puff sticks to me like glue when I come outside. I mean, every move I make, she could be playing with her other little kitty siblings, but no. When she see me, she drop them all like hot potatoes. And here she comes a-running as soon as she see me. I know, girl, I know, I love you too. Okay, now let me finish. And you bit my glove, don't think I ain't catch that. All right, so I'm gonna just push some soil over that. Come on, you stepping on my beets. I'm gonna cover the rest of these. Mrs. Puff, you doing the most. You on my beets, girl, you on my beets. All right, so that's it. That's how I get the ginger all planted. I'm gonna get away from this bed because if I don't, she's not gonna, she ain't gonna leave me alone. And this is what I have left right here, you all. I may try to work it in somewhere, but for the most part, I think I'm happy. Is that two? Oh, that's one. So see how big this piece is right here? So when they come in, like this piece was actually way bigger than this, right? A lot of them were way bigger than this, and I broke them off to get smaller pieces, okay? Mrs. Puff, I don't want you trampling on my beets. Okay, I'm gonna stand on this side. Okay, so you all, what I am doing now, I'm gonna take the rest of these and I'm gonna get a container, and I'm gonna bring a container over here right beside this raised bed, and I'm gonna put some of these, the rest of these, down in the container and see how they grow in the container. I'm pretty sure they're gonna grow just fine, but I'm gonna put these in a container as well to show you just how easy it is to grow ginger in containers for those of you who prefer container gardening, or you don't have the space, you need some small space gardening. I'm just gonna get, she's gonna sit right on top of the beets. Okay, so I'm gonna get a container and just put the rest of this ginger inside of that container and show you all how easy it is to plant it in the container. Okay, so y'all, I think that's gonna do it for how I get the ginger planted. It is very, very simple to do. Let me sit that down. Ow! It's very simple to do, very simple to get them planted in the garden beds. All I had to do was just add a little fertilizer to the bed so that they will have something to feed on once they start growing. And then after the roots start to spread and they start doing, they start growing, ow! They start growing, developing roots and growing the foliage. Then you all, I'm not gonna feed this bed anymore. I'm just gonna make sure to give them plenty of water to start, because I don't want them to get dry. I want them to go ahead and sprout. And then after that, literally, I don't really have to worry about it too much more, okay? I really don't. The rain kind of takes over from there once they get going, okay? So I will keep this bed moist, not wet, but moist, so that they can go ahead and start pushing up that foliage, okay? All right, y'all, that's gonna do it. Mrs. Puff is, she's something else, I'm telling you. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video on how I get my ginger planted in my raised garden bed. Y'all stay tuned for the next video showing you how to plant ginger in containers. It's gonna be just as easy, okay? All right, y'all, Thank you all so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. She always photobombing.